The Aaron Rodgers experiment with the New York Jets has reached a breaking point, and the team must move on. In a humiliating 40-0 loss to the Buffalo Bills, Rodgers' performance was nothing short of disastrous. The 41-year-old quarterback, who has been touted as the savior of the Jets, threw 2 interceptions, was sacked in the end zone for a safety, and gave up a fumble that was returned for a touchdown. His struggles were compounded by underthrown passes, missed opportunities, and blame placed on his receivers. The Jets' decision to bench him in the fourth quarter, following another lackluster drive, was long overdue. Rodgers, who has been with the Jets since 2023 after recovering from a torn Achilles, is no longer the elite player he once was. His performance this season has only highlighted his physical decline, and his negative influence on the locker room has become increasingly evident. Reports suggest that the relationship between Rodgers and his top receiver, Garrett Wilson, is fractured, with Wilson reportedly considering a trade request if Rodgers remains the starter. The Jets' offense has been dismal, failing to meet expectations despite Rodgers' arrival. The team, once on the rise, has instead stagnated under the leadership of the aging quarterback and offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, one of Rodgers' hand-picked hires. The Jets have struggled to integrate young talent like Wilson, whose production has dropped since Adams' acquisition and Rodgers' arrival. With a disappointing season nearing its end, it's clear that the Jets' future depends on moving away from Rodgers and focusing on developing their younger players. This has been a season marred by off-field controversies, including Rodgers' public feuds with media members and teammates, which have only intensified his toxic presence. His reluctance to engage fully with the team and his focus on distractions like his time in Egypt have only hurt his chemistry with key players. The Jets' young stars, including Sauce Gardner and Wilson, deserve better leadership moving forward. The Jets need to part ways with Rodgers, and the time to do so is now. With Week 18 looming and the potential for a coaching change, the Jets must prioritize their future by moving on from an aging quarterback who is no longer the answer. The team's culture, which has been toxic for years, won't improve until they make this difficult but necessary decision. The hope for the Jets' future lies in building around their young talent, and that journey can only begin once Rodgers is out of the picture. As for Rodgers, it's becoming increasingly clear that his time in New York is a failure. He may have been brought in to transform the Jets, but instead, he has left them in a state of disarray. The Jets must move on and start fresh.